Well, that didn't take long. Less than a week after House Republicans voted to formally begin an impeachment inquiry into President Biden, several high-ranking Republicans are already expressing buyer's remorse. Look, when it comes to impeaching Joe Biden, I've said it many times, I'm all ears. If House Republicans uncover anything that ties President Biden, not Hunter or James, but Joe Biden himself to actual corruption, I'll call it out. If he got bribed, I'll call for his impeachment. But after months of digging through Biden family records, it doesn't look like they have found anything close to a smoking gun that should lead to impeachment or even a formal impeachment inquiry. And now many top Republicans are conceding that. Here's Senator Lindsey Graham, the ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Is there any evidence so far? Have they done it yet, in your mind?
If there were a smoking gun, I think we'd be talking about it.
Exactly. We'd be talking about it. I certainly would be. I've gone through every major piece of evidence on this show that Chairman Comer claims implicates President Biden. I have taken this seriously, unlike many on the left who just ignore it. And the evidence shows that Joe Biden probably hasn't been honest about whether he ever talked to Hunter about his businesses, but that's it. And it's not just Lindsey Graham. Several more prominent Republicans are publicly skeptical of the impeachment process.
Before you begin an impeachment inquiry, you ought to have some evidence, some inclination that there's been wrongdoing, and so far there's nothing of that nature that's been provided.
I have no evidence of it, and I'm going to just follow the facts where they are, and the facts haven't taken me to that point where I can say that the president's guilty of anything.
Senator Grassley, by the way, has been one of the loudest voices calling out so-called Biden family corruption. He's the one who released that FBI document that showed that someone said that someone else said the Bidens had been bribed. The allegation has been totally discredited. And if he doesn't see any evidence to impeach, it doesn't look good for those who still want to go down this road. And remember, on the very night the House voted to go ahead with the impeachment inquiry, a move even skeptical moderate Republicans ended up supporting. One of those moderates admitted on this show that night that they don't really have anything. What exactly is the high crime or misdemeanor that's being investigated?
Well, you know, that's a good point, and I haven't seen any of that today.
Impeachment's a huge deal. This process should only be started if there is clear evidence of serious wrongdoing. It shouldn't be an effort to dig up dirt on a political rival. So far, it looks like that's what this is. And if House GOP leaders don't even have enough evidence to win over their own party, what is the point here? Joining me now is Charlie Dent, former Republican congressman from Pennsylvania. Good to see you again. Appreciate you coming on the show. So, I mean, it already sounds like there are key Republicans trying to distance themselves from even just the impeachment inquiry.
Yeah, no question. Look, this whole impeachment inquiry process, you know, strikes me as a sop to the hardliners within the House GOP conference. And because, as those Republican senators have stated, there really isn't enough evidence to support an impeachment, let alone an inquiry. So I think that's what this is about. Republicans have made a very compelling case to impeach Hunter Biden. But of course, you know, Hunter Biden's not a federal official and cannot be impeached. You know, a lot of his business dealings were malodorous, and not saying necessarily criminal, but they're terrible. And Joe Biden maybe is guilty of negligence, that is, not talking to his son about engaging in business activities that could give off the appearance of impropriety or embarrassment or worse. But again, that's not a crime. So I think Republicans are really doing this just to placate their hardliners within the conference and elements of the base. But there's less than zero chance of Joe Biden being convicted in the United States Senate, clearly.
Well, and thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.